Yo, what's up, my fellow realiters? And today, well, if you saw my last video called Some Updates, well, I said some other video ideas I was going to do, and I'm going to do one of them today. Well, try to at least, but I'm going to be reading you guys a book called Divergent. It's going to be awesome. I haven't read the book or the movies, but what I do know about it is that there's some factions, and they're like, I think they go in like a war or something. I don't know. But yeah, you guys get the idea. Okay. I already took one take of this, but Amazon thingy reacted to my voicey voice, and it ruined the take, and it ticked me off. But here we go. Whatever, at least I gotta read this part again. So it's I'm gonna try to make it like an audiobook, but if I get some words wrong, don't judge me. I'm in the upper league, but some of the words that these people come up with are just anyway. Chapter 1. There is one mirror in my house. It is behind a sliding panel in the hallway upstairs. Our faction allows me to stand in front of it on the second day of every third month, the day my mother cuts my hair. I sit on the stool, and my mother stands behind me with the scissors, trimming. The strands fall on the floor in a dull blonde ring. When she finishes, she pulls my hair away from my face and twists it in a knot. I know how calm she looks and how focused she is. She is well practiced in the art of losing herself. I can't say the same for myself. I sneak a look at my reflection when she isn't paying attention. Not for the sake of vanity, but out of curiosity. A lot can happen to a person's appearance in 3 months. In my reflection, I see a narrow face, wide, round eyes, and a long, thin nose. I still look like a little girl, although sometime in the last few months I turned 16. The other factions celebrate birthdays, but we don't. It would be self-indulgent. There, she says when she pins a knot in the place. Her eyes catch mine in the mirror. It is too late to look away, but instead of scolding me, she smiles at her reflection. I frown a little. Why doesn't she reprimand me for staring at myself? So, today's the day, she says. Yes, I reply. Are you nervous? I stare at my own eyes for a moment. Today is the day of the aptitude test that will show me which of the 5 factions I belong in. And tomorrow at the choosing ceremony, I will decide on a faction. I will decide the rest of my life. I will decide to stay with my family or abandon them. No, I say. The tests don't have to change our choices. Right, she smiles. Let's go get some breakfast. Thank you for cutting my hair. She kisses my cheeks and slides the panel over the mirror. I think my mother could be beautiful in a different world. Her body is thin beneath the gray robe. She has high cheekbones and long eyelashes. When she lets her hair down at night, it hangs and waves over her shoulder, but must hide the beauty in abnegation. Abnegation. Yeah, that's one of the hard words that I might fail. So just keep that in mind. We walk together to the kitchen. On the mornings when my brother makes breakfast, and my father's hand skims my hair as he reads the newspaper, and my mother hums as she clears the table. It is on these mornings I feel guiltiest for wanting to leave them. ... The bus stinks of exhaust. Every time it hits a patch of uneven pavement, it jolts me from side to side, even though I'm gripping the seat to keep myself still. My older brother, Caleb, stands in the aisle, holding a railing above his head to keep him steady. We don't look alike. He has my father's dark hair and a hooked nose and my mother's green eyes and dimpled cheeks. When he was younger, the collection of features looked strange, but now it suits him. If it weren't abnegation, I'm sure the girls at school would stare at him. He also inherited my mother's talent for selflessness. He gave his seat to a surly condor man on the bus without a second thought. The condor man wears a black suit and with a white tie, the condor's standard uniform. Their faction values honesty and sees the truth as black and white, so that is what they wear. The gaps between the buildings and the roads are smoother as we near the heart of the city. The building that was once called Sears Tower, we call it the Hub, emerges from the fog, a black pillar in the skyline. The bus passes under the elevated tracks. I've never been on a train, though they never stop running and there are tracks everywhere. Only the dauntless ride them. 5 years ago, volunteer construction workers from Abnegation repaved some of the roads. They started in the middle city and worked their way outward until they ran out of materials. The roads where I live are still cracked and patchy, and it's not safe to drive on them. We don't have a car anyway. Caleb's expression is placid as the bus sways and jolts on the road. The gray robe falls and his arm clutches a pole for balance. I can tell by the constant shift in his eyes that he is watching the people around us, striving to see only them and forget himself. Condor values honesty, but our faction, abnegation, values selflessness. The bus stops in front of the school and I get up scooting past the Condor man. I grab Caleb's arm as I stumble over the man's shoes. My slacks are too long, and I've never been that graceful. The upper levels building is the oldest of 3 schools. Lower levels, mid-levels, and upper levels. Like all the other buildings around it, it is made of glass and steel. In front of it is a large metal sculpture the dauntless climb after school, daring each other to go higher and higher. Last year, I watched one of them fall and break her leg. I was the one who ran to get the nurse. Aptitude test today, I say. Caleb is not quite a year older than I am, so we are in the same year at school. He nods as we pass through the front doors. My muscles tighten the second we walk in. The atmosphere feels hungry, like every 16-year-old is trying to devour us as much as he can get on his last day. It was likely that we'll not walk these halls again after the choosing ceremony. Once we choose, our new factions will be responsible for finishing our education. Okay, quick pause. So, is Mom and Dad downstairs with Peyton? My sister's crying, so I'm very sorry. So, do you mind go checking on her?
I already did.
Okay.
That's why I was.
Well, never mind. Just ignore that. Our classes are cut in half today, so we'll attend all of them before the aptitude tests, which take place after our lunch. My heart rate is already elevated. You aren't at all worried about what they'll tell you, I asked Caleb. We pause at the split in the hallway where he'll go one way toward advanced math and I'll go the other toward faction history. He raised an eyebrow at me. Are you? I tell him I've worried for weeks about what the aptitude test will tell me. Abnegation, condor, erudite, amity, or dauntless. Instead I smile. Not really. He smiles back. Have a good day. I walk towards the faction history, chewing on my lower lip. He had never answered my question. The hallways are cramped, though the light coming through the windows creates the illusion of space. They are the only ones where the factions mix. At our age, today the crowd has a new kind of energy. A last day mania? A girl with long hair shouts, "Hey!" next to my ear, waving at a distant friend. A jacket sleeve smacks me on the cheek. Then a rooted boy in a blue sweater shoves me. I lose my balance and fall on the ground. "Out of my way, stiff!" he snaps and continues down the hallway. My cheeks warm. I got up and dusted myself off. A few people stopped where I fell, but none of them offered to help me. Their eyes followed me to the edge of the hallway. This sort of thing has been happening to others in my faction for months now. The erudite have been releasing agnostic reports about the abnegation, and it has begun to affect the way we relate to school. The gray clothes, the plain hairstyle, and the unamusing demeanor of my faction are supposed to make it easier for me to forget myself and easier for everyone to forget me too. But now they will make me a target? I pause by a window in E-Wing and wait exactly for the Dauntless to arrive. I do this every morning at 7:25. The Dauntless prove their bravery by jumping from a moving train. My father calls the Dauntless Hellions. They are pierced, tattooed, and black clothed. Their primary purpose is to guard the fence that surrounds our city. From what? I don't know. They should perplex me. I should wonder what courage, which is the virtue they most value, has to do with a metal ring through your nostril. Instead, my eyes cling them wherever they go. The train whistle blares, the sound resonating in my chest. The light fixed to the front of the train clicks and off as the train hurtles past the school, squealing on iron rails. And as the last few cars pass, a mass exodus of young men and women in dark clothing hurl themselves from moving cars, some dropping and rolling, others stumbling a few steps before regaining their balance. One of the boys wraps his arm around the girl's shoulders, laughing. Watching them is a foolish practice. I turn them away from the window and press through the crowd to the faction history classroom. Chapter 2. Okay, so that was a long chapter, and I only have about a 15-minute budget currently. And, pretty long chapter. So, so if you guys want me to read some more Divergent or other books, please tell me. Well, there was. So if you guys enjoyed this chapter 1 audiobook, I hope you did, because I still want to read the book, but to be honest, here's a secret. I don't like to read aloud. I prefer to read in my mind. It just annoys me at the fact that I have to read every single mother of goshness word that appears on that book. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed. You know, I'm not gonna call you guys anymore, because what if you're girls? Okay, I'm just kidding. But but I'm gonna start calling you guys realitors. How would you like that? So yeah, see you guys next time. Peace.